Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good stuff. If there were younger people here and more of them, I would make you repeat that and shout louder like I did with the students at the JCA earlier today, but I trust that you're all here. It's good to see you all. We have some announcements, and let me get them.
Okay. No, I'm just going to light this one. I was going to get it kind of spaced out. So actually, I'll keep them here. Put this here.
Okay. So, my name is Rabbi Dime. It's good to see all of you. And for those and this is cantorial soloist Lori Simmons. And on behalf of the Bethel Board of Trustees, I would like to welcome you to our Shabbat worship service. If you are new to our congregation or attending as a visitor, please introduce yourself to me or cantorial soloist Lori Simmons after our service so that we may give you a more appropriate welcome. Please be respectful of others and silence your cell phones. It's something that reminds me every week to turn mine off, so if you need to take yours out now and turn it off, no worries at all. On January 10th, Sisterhood will be having a potluck lunch and learn with me, Rabbi Dime, and also on the 21st, a different event, on January 21st at Congregation Ahavat Chesed, there will be a joint Sisterhood Shabbaton. On January 11th, Bethel will be hosting an Israeli cafe with the Shlicha Tal Mola. And please also join Brotherhood for dinner with me on January 19th. And on the 21st, Bethel will have Ella France up here to become a bat mitzvah. And she's going to be amazing. I've seen her rehearse already. It's going to be great. Also, save the date, January 28th. Will be Flannel and Friends, Be the Flame to Help Burn the Mortgage. And for more detailed information on all of these events, you can find them in our newsletter. And so, in keeping with looking ahead to next year, all the events that are coming up, one of the things that I've been thinking about is being present, being in the moment, and finding in those moments just some gratitude for being where we are. And so I've been looking at Hinei Matov, actually, which can be found on page 188 in your prayer books. And cantorial soloist Lori and I were talking about some different versions, and we thought we would bring you a new to us version of Hinei Matov, and most of the lyrics are the same ones that are on your page 188. So there's some echo parts. Cantorial soloist Lori Simmons will explain more. And just keep this in mind, how good it is to be with us all together here. And I would say also into the new year as well. So.
Okay, so the first part is a call and response, and it is literally E-O.
E-O.
E-O, E-O-O-O. So it goes like this. E-O-O.
E-O-O.
E-O-O-O.
E-O-O-O.
E-O-O.
E-O-O.
O-O-O.
O-O-O.
Good. So we're going to do that, then we'll sing the Hinei Matov so you can pick it up, and then we'll go back to the E-O and sing it one more time through, so hopefully you can jump in on the Hinei Matov. E-O-O.
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 O-O-O. Oh.
It's all good. We'll join on the O-O-O's again.
Yes, sorry.
It's okay.
Hinei Matov u'mana'im shevet achim gam yachad
How great it is for brothers and sisters to hang out on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How great it is, kulanu kulanu, to hang out on this day.
E-oh-oh,
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 E-oh-oh.
E-oh-oh.
Everybody. Oh, that's fun. One more time. E-oh-oh,
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 oh. Hine ma tov
u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How great it is for brothers and sisters to hang out on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How great it is, kulanu kulanu, to hang out on this day.
Thank you.
Thank you all. It is wonderful to be hanging out with all of you here at Bethel. And so now I invite you to turn to page 120, 120, and I'd like to call up Ron Van and friends, whoever else is coming up with you, to help us light the candles and do the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'masei v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodecha be'ahava uvratzon imchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Chocolate.
And so, having welcomed in Shabbat with the candles and the Kiddush, I invite you to turn to page 124, 124, and to join me in the reading at the bottom of the page. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. And now we turn to page 128 for Maya Fehayom.
Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
And now we turn to page 146, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated. And now we turn to page 148 for Ma'ariv Aravim.
Yada die, 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 die. Yada die, 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 die. Yada die, die, die. Yada die, die, yada die. Die, 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 die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim.
Together in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Now we turn to page 150, Please join me in English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now we turn to page 152, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lachtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu l'totafod bein einecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot vachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. And now we turn to page 159. Please join me in the English. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And now we turn back to page 158 for our people's song of redemption, Michamocha.
Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osei feleh, Norah tehilot osei feleh. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. L'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, Uge'alo b'yad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
And now we turn to page 160 for the Hashkivenu. And I'd just like to point our attention again to the English, where we're asking in the third line down for God to spread over us the shelter of your peace, that God helps to spread over us the shelter of God's peace. And at close to the end of a tumultuous year, and looking ahead to the year to come, I invite us all to invite that in together, that as a community we can help pray together for God spreading over us and helping us to build a shelter of peace this Shabbat and moving into 2023.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomrinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomrinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu shomrinu lechaim.
Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. And now we turn to page 162 for Vishamru. And let's just read it all through the English first before we jump into the Hebrew. Together, the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God eased from work and was refreshed. And so on this Shabbat, I hope that we can all do that and bring it in by singing Vishamru together.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam.
And now we come to the Tefillah portion of our service, the Amidah. And I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 164. 164.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasadei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi'u Libnei V'Nehem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechokel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayehim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Giverot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah HaChayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh Chasela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. Please turn to page 175, in the reading at the bottom of the page. Please join with me. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch Atah Adonai, She'odcha Levadcha B'yirah Na'avod. And now we turn to page 177. Please join me in the reading at the top of the page. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch Atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ucha Na'eh Lehodot. And now, having said those prayers of gratitude, we know that we are still praying for more things. We are still praying for peace. And so we turn to page 178 for Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלום Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
Praying up here is thirsty work, excuse me. So now our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing. And so we're going to turn to page 371, and we're going to sing the Mishaberach. But before we do, I'd like to read the names of the people that the congregation is thinking of for healing. Robin Zimmerman, Francis Marcus, Richmond Wynn, Jenny Ben Bassett, Holly Caristo, Jim DeArmond, Anita Perlman, Lionel Gleckenhaus, Rebecca Kaufman, Pearl Levin, Jay Goldblatt, Marcia Cohen, Danny Cohen, Ron Rappaport, Rose Aglico, Carol Friedman, Carol Wallace, David Cohen, Carol Solomon, Ben Fishman, Shelley Fishman, Natalie Conway, Marion Cohn Spitzner, Dale Ray, Michelle Jurgen Rosenthal, Margaret Gormley, June Van, Jean Schroeder, Marty Siegel, Rabbi Michael Matchison, John Mitchell, Deborah Rosen, Mary Blutenthal, Avery Silvers, Rayla Montagna, Dennis Montagna, Cody Allen, Vicki Dunn, Sherry Chait, Sherry Spitzvaden, Barbara Hood, and Ron Hood. If there is anyone else that has a name they'd like to share with the community, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all their names together as a community, and we turn to page 371, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Mishebeirach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach Imoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May those who will not be healed on this earth be blessed with nights free from suffering and days filled with peace. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us to find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. And now, please take a few moments for silent meditation.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
So, this has been a year of a lot of change. And as it gets darker, and as we look back at the year that we've had, I invite us to look ahead to the next year through the darkness, even though we're lighting the lights, and they are wonderful. Christmas lights and Hanukkah lights and Kwanzaa lights and all the lights do a wonderful job of lighting the darkness. It can still seem dark. And so at this time, through whatever darkness we're looking through, I invite us to look to 2023 with a sense of hope. In this Torah portion, Vayigash, we have some amazing stuff, a lot of family drama, which the Torah is really good at. And there's a message that I think that in one line that we can take with us into this next year. And so, drawing comparisons with the Torah and Shakespeare, which I also love to do, in the play Much Ado About Nothing, there's a line where they're first meeting everyone, soldiers coming back from war, and Beatrice and Benedict, who have this, we learn have this relationship from the past, she gives him a hard time because he's talking, and he says to her, "What, my dear lady Disdain, are you yet living?" And then, of course, the banter continues, because it's Shakespeare and we love dialogue. At one point in this Torah portion, the same phrase, similar version of the same phrase, "Are you yet living?" comes back. And so, we'll get there. We come back to the drama of Joseph having planted this cup on Benjamin. It's a sort of a sting operation to see how the brothers would change, if they had changed. Are they the same brothers that sold Joseph into slavery 20-something years ago, or are they different people now? And so Joseph sets this up. And in this Torah portion, it begins with Vayigash, with Judah approaching Joseph and beseeching him to let Benjamin go, because Judah knows, that should Jacob, their father, lose Benjamin too, because Jacob still thinks he's lost Joseph from before, it would destroy Jacob. Jacob has said, if you don't bring me back my son Benjamin, I'm just gonna die of sadness. And so Joseph, hearing this from his brother Judah, that they need to release Benjamin, Joseph almost loses it emotionally. So he sends out all of the Egyptians that are there at court, sends everybody away, and he cries out loud, finally letting his emotions go, letting out this cry of, I would say, catharsis, because he finally sees that his brothers are new people. And he reveals then himself, Joseph reveals himself to his brothers, and they're awestruck. They can't even respond to him immediately. And so he uses this great rhetorical strategy. He asks them a rhetorical question. He says, "Our father, is my father yet living?" But he knows Jacob's living, because they were just saying, look, if you don't give us Benjamin back, our father's going to die. So it's that sense of the same question, used in a different way, but rhetorically still, are you yet living, or is my father yet living? The idea of it, the idea behind it, is the sense of presence, that even though we know somebody is living, even though they're right across from us, we can engage with them and be present with them, this person next to us, this person who we all know in common. And I think we can also use that question as a sense of checking in with ourselves. Am I yet living? And so in this new year, I invite us all, whether it's literally in the mirror or on the bus, wherever you are, take a moment here and there to check in and say, am I yet living? And of course, it's rhetorical, because if you're thinking this to yourself and you're driving, God willing, yes, you are willing. You are here. You are still living. So one could ask, what's the point? But I think that the point is checking in, a sense of gratitude, a sense of being grateful for being present. And we have prayers in our liturgy for this. Moda Ani, which some people say every day, is in our prayer books on page 186, among other places. But the translation is, I offer thanks to you, ever-living sovereign, that you have restored my soul to me in mercy. How great is your trust. That we can check in and say, am I yet living? And yes, here I am, because we have this faith that we're here, we're back, we're living still, and we can be grateful for that life. And so, with more wisdom from other places, this sense of hope that we get, that we can kindle and keep with us, because we have this faith, because we're grateful that we're here, we can hope for good things in the future. Princess Leia, also known as General Organa from Star Wars, said in Star Wars The Last Jedi, hope is like the sun. If you only believe it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night. And so, in this year, there will be difficult days and hard days. But I encourage us all to check in with ourselves, to remember that we have hope, to kindle that hope, to keep it burning. And so, when we are asking ourselves, are we yet living? The answer is yes. And looking ahead to 2023, I hope for all of us that as it approaches, in the same way that Judah approached Joseph, we approach with this passion, with this zeal, I hope for all of us that it is a happy, healthy, fun, fulfilling, joyful new year that is full of good stuff and many, many blessings. Shabbat Shalom. And now we continue with our service on page 586, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, u'lahu samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imal ushkinatu zo B'gov he meromim Hu Eloheinu ein od Emet malkeinu efesu lato Kach katuv b'torato V'yadata hayom v'ashevota elevavecha Ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim B'shamayim imal V'al ha'aretz V'tachat ein od V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech ha'kol ha'aretz V'yom hahu V'yom hahu Yeh Ushamo, Ushamo, Ushamo Echad.
Seated. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old people that wait to die. If you need to cry, cry for your sibling walking in the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I have known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Our thoughts turn to those whom we have loved and lost. The congregation is thinking tonight of those whom we've lost within the last year. Jane B. Hirsch, Dan Goldman, Judy Ellikin, Inga Langsam, Phyllis Zuckerman, Nancy Honig, Judita Arman, Gloria Bell, Dorothy Zemlich-Fine, Gordon Overton, Jay Aronoff, and Marcel Rentner Mandelbaum, and those whose yard sites we're observing at this time. Sidney Becker, Shirley Bartfield, Abraham Cantor, Jacqueline Chait, Raymond Chait, Bruce Cooper, Louis Goldman, Anne Greenberg, Helene Heller, Sophie Hirsch, Louis Katz, Virginia Katz-Morris, Penina Kirschenbaum, Robert Lang, Sylvia Levine, Ted Levinson, Rebecca Mogilevsky, Harry Oppenheimer, Celia Raskin, Maurice Rose, Jeffrey Sager, Leona Saltz, Stanley Schoenfeld, Richard Smiley, Andy Solomon, Martin Tabak, Mary Verton, Benjamin Weisbard, Morris Wheatus, and Bob Wolfson. If there is anyone in the congregation who has another name of someone whom they're remembering at this time, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. We hold all of their names together as a community. I invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Kaddish on page 598. 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, Be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, B'chayachon uve'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala u'bizman kariv ve'imru Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach leolam ulalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yidromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. May the one who makes peace on high bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. And now I'd like to invite us to turn back to page 188 for Hinei Matov. You sounded wonderful before. I invite you to jump in again. You're going to sound great this time too, and we'll carry it with us into the future. This how good and pleasant it is that all of us dwell together.
E-O-O,
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 O-O-O, E-O-O,
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 O-O-O, Hinei
מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
How great it is for brothers and sisters to hang out on this day.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How great it is, כולנו כולנו, to hang out on this day.
E-O-O,
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 O-O-O, E-O-O,
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 O-O-O. הנה
מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How great it is for brothers and sisters to hang out on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How great it is, כולנו כולנו, to hang out on this day. Wonderful, wonderful. It is great hanging out with all of you. And so now we approach the end of our service. Please turn to page 603, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we say the priestly benediction, page 603.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken yehi ratzon. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yihuneka.
Ken yehi ratzon. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Ken yehi ratzon. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Shabbat shalom. And before you break, we have a mini kiddush up here so that you don't have to wait for us to get over to the thing before you can enjoy. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bria gafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon, everyone. An early Happy New Year 2023. We'll see you out there.